In May 1969, exactly 2 months before Apollo 11's historic landing, NASA launched the Apollo 10 mission into a low lunar orbit. Its objective was a full dress rehearsal of the landing procedures. At precisely 101 hours and 46 minutes into the mission, the spacecraft moved behind the far side of the moon. At that exact microsecond, all radio contact with mission control in Houston was severed by the massive mineral bulk of the lunar body. This 60-minute blackout period was a standard, calculated orbital window of absolute silence. But inside the cockpit, astronauts John Young and Eugene Cernan were about to witness a phenomenon that defied their extensive military flight training. Today, we decode the raw, declassified transcripts and the unsettling cosmic interference known simply as the moon music. No summities, no pacing changes. Listen closely. As the spacecraft traveled into the deepest pocket of the lunar shadow, the standard internal crew intercom system was suddenly overridden by an unexpected external signal. Inside their close-fitting communications caps, the astronauts did not hear the harsh white noise of solar radiation. Instead, they were met with a highly structured, modulating whistling tone that drifted up and down across the audio spectrum. According to declassified flight logs, the sound had a strange, melodic rhythm to it. The astronauts' immediate reaction was not scientific curiosity, but genuine instinctual unease. For the next 40 minutes, as they floated in the vacuum above the dark lunar craters, this alien melody remained locked into their headsets, completely unexplainable by the physics of empty space. When the Apollo 10 capsule safely splashed down in the Pacific Ocean, the onboard voice recordings were immediately transferred to a highly secure naval intelligence processing unit. The conversation between the crew during those 60 minutes was deeply troubling to NASA management. Eugene Cernan was recorded asking, "You hear that? That whistling sound? It sounds like, outer space-type music." John Young replied, "It certainly is a strange music." Fearing public panic regarding potential non-human signals or structural communication failure right before the primary moon landing, NASA leadership ordered the tapes to be locked in classified security vaults. For nearly 40 years, the official stance on the Apollo 10 far-side audio was total denial, keeping the raw data out of civilian scientific scrutiny until a structural review in 2008 forced its release. The primary official explanation put forward by agency physicists after the 2008 declassification centered around very high-frequency radio interference. During the orbital phase, both the command module and the lunar module were active and operating separate VHF radio systems. When the two spacecraft were close together but isolated from the Earth's massive broadcast dampening effect, the frequencies from their respective transmitters supposedly began to interfere with one another. This acoustic phenomenon, known as heterodyning, can create a third, oscillating tone inside the audio circuitry. But many communications engineers remain skeptical of this baseline theory, noting that the specific modulation patterns and the long duration of the whistle did not align with standard military-grade radio shield behaviors used in 1969 aerospace hardware. An alternative, highly technical study suggests that the anomaly was caused by the unique environment of the far side itself. Unlike the Earth-facing side, the dark side of the moon features massive localized magnetic field concentrations buried deep beneath its volcanic crust. As the Apollo 10 spacecraft cut through these highly irregular magnetic pockets at high velocity, its outer metallic hull accumulated an immense static electrical charge. Furthermore, at the terminator line, microscopic lunar dust particles are physically levitated by intense solar radiation charge differentials. The ship was literally flying through a dense, invisible cloud of electrified mineral dust. This interaction between high-speed hull metals, shifting magnetic anomalies, and charged lunar dust created a massive natural capacitor effect, leaking raw electrical noise directly into the unshielded internal intercom wires. Declassified flight preparation briefs reveal that the moon music was taken so seriously by military planners that it altered the pre-flight briefings for Apollo 11. Before Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin liftoff for the actual landing attempt, they were pulled into a closed-door briefing session where the raw Apollo 10 audio clips were played back to them. The flight directors gave them a strict, explicit warning. They were likely to encounter the exact same whistling anomalies the moment they hit the lunar shadow. Armstrong, a seasoned military test pilot, reportedly took the news in complete silence. The agency could not afford their lead astronauts losing focus or panicking due to an unexplainable psychological acoustic element while operating the highly sensitive descent engines in total isolation from Earth. When independent acoustic analysts applied modern digital filtering to the restored master tapes in late 2026, they noted a final structural anomaly. Standard electromagnetic radio interference from heterodyning hardware usually displays an erratic, chaotic wave structure filled with random harmonic distortion spikes. But the Apollo 10 whistle maintained an incredibly clean, stable sinusoidal wave shape that adjusted its pitch in mathematically precise increments. It behaved less like an accidental leak of circuit noise and more like a highly structured, self-sustaining electronic broadcast. The data confirms that something inside the dark orbit was producing a continuous, localized electrical vibration that used the spacecraft's own communication grid as a speaker system. The Apollo 10 incident stands as a chilling validation of the absolute isolation inherent in deep space exploration. When humans leave the protective magnetic bubble of the Earth, they enter a realm where the traditional boundaries of physics and human perception are constantly challenged by the unknown. The whistling has stopped. The Apollo capsules have been retired to museums. But the far side of the moon remains in permanent darkness, waiting for the next antenna to pass through its shadow. Thank you for watching this complete, unedited investigation. If you want more long-form documentaries that expose the raw, hidden frequencies of history, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment with moon music below, and stay safe in the dark. Stay safe.